Are you looking for comprehensive solutions for your performance and automotive needs? Straight Line Performance and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop specializing in race car fabrication, electrical design, chassis setup and alignment. Located in Hamden, Connecticut, they also specialize in aftermarket high performance and chassis upgrades. Be sure to look them up on Facebook at www.facebook.com/straightline, STR8LINE, Performance, ampersand Automotive, or give them a call at 203-415-5316. Welcome, racers and fans, to the Racers News Network Live, presented by Straight Line Performance and Automotive, and your hosts, Chris and Pete, bring you the latest news and interviews in the world of sportsman drag racing, including bracket racing, association races, outlaw, and no-time events. We are live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take it away, boys.
I guess I didn't know.
All right. Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great show, Racers News Network Live. And we have a person who makes incredibly limited visits to live interviews. For those of you that don't know that face, well, to me, he's right there. And to you, he's over there and this and that and whatever else. So, of course, let's start out with the mom to be. We have to introduce friend of Racers News Network Live, of course, Taylor Nobile. How are you, Taylor?
Good. How are you?
Outstanding. Thank you for taking the time to come on and hang out with us. And moving to Taylor's left, a young man who's raced pro stock and made the switch over to Super Comp. Going to run that this year. Do some national stuff, some divisional stuff. Of course, I'm talking about our special guest tonight, Vincent Nobile. Good evening, Vincent. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome, my friend. As always, to my left, the one and only Pete Sanka.
How are you guys?
What's going on, buddy?
Same old, same old. How about you?
Right. And on a very bad version of the what was that game called, Pete? The Hollywood Squares. There we go. Below me is Billy Kleinsman from Maple Grove. How are you, Billy?
Hey guys, thank you for having me on. Doing great.
You're very welcome. So we're gonna have a little fun tonight. We're gonna kind of do a little bit of a newlywed game, and Billy's gonna do a little interviewing with both Taylor and Vincent. But in honor of this being Vincent's first visit with us, we chose a special song just for you, my friend.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
Nice song.
Getting to like you, getting to hope you
Got a great
like
melody.
me.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. So, Pete, why don't you go ahead and take it away, my man?
How are you guys?
What's up?
How are you?
Welcome to the show. Pretty much like I did before we went live. Wanted to congratulate both of you on parents to be. Obviously, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. We see junior dragsters in the future. What's the youngest you can be for a junior?
5 to be by yourself and 6 to be racing against someone.
Excellent, excellent. So let's see. How pregnant are you? How far in are you?
17 weeks today.
All right. So we could do the math. We could do the math and easily figure out when you'll take delivery of the first one. And then we'll go from there.
September 12th, and then 5 years plus that is junior dragster time.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. And a guy who obviously needs no introduction. I won't even attempt the last name. We decided that the last time he was on, Mr. Billy K.
Kleinsman.
Yep.
Right. How you doing, Billy?
Good. I must say my last name is probably the most hardest last name to pronounce in the sport of drag racing.
No, it's not, because I just say K. That's easy.
Yep.
Pete, you should be good at this. You're like a teacher. You need to know names and last names.
I know I'm terrible. I'm so bad at that. Oh God. I get, when the freshmen come in, it literally takes me half a year to remember 18 names. It's so bad. I get a lot of A, O, U, buddy.
Pete's
get over
that
here.
teacher. He keeps a wadded up
Yep.
roll of paper towels on his desk. When he needs to get his attention, he's like, you
You.
right there. Those are so
I've
dumb.
gotten very good at flicking pencils, how you hold it and the aim is good. I got very good at that. So Billy, you are the guest interviewer tonight. You got some questions lined up for our guests.
Yes, I do.
All right, take it away.
Well, thank you, Taylor and Vince, for having me on and hosting the drag racing version of the Newlywed Game.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
I must say, in my soon-to-be 11 years in drag racing, I never thought I'd hosted a game show on Facebook.
Well, look at that. First for everything, right?
Yep, definitely. So the first question I'm going to ask you guys, first it's going to be for Vince. What was more exciting, doubling up in Norwalk in 2012 or standing on the starting line watching Taylor pick up her first national event win last year at Maple Grove?
You know, I'd say equally. I was equally excited, but two different emotions for sure. And you could even go back. I even think it says it in the National Dragster after I had done that. I think they quoted me saying, "It's 100 times more fun to be on the starting line during a win than it is in the car." And it's so true, you know, because you're on the line with the rest of your friends, your family, and you know, you're just standing there in anticipation, especially a super comp race, you know, a whole 8.9 seconds, you're standing there, which feels like an eternity. And when the win light comes on, it's just like, obviously a lot of people saw the picture of me jumping, but both were excited, you know, both were great.
Which was a pretty impressive vertical leap too, I must say.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I could have ran right underneath you.
The first question I asked Taylor before I said anything about her win that day, I said, was Vincent on like the track team in high school or something?
Yeah,
She's
no,
like, no. I was like, by that jump, you would have never known.
right.
All right, second question. This is going to be for Taylor. What's more nerve-wracking, watching your husband race or racing yourself?
Definitely watching him race. When he ran our car did you run a test session first or did you go right to Epping?
No, we went to ACO.
Well, we ran a test session and I wasn't as nervous there because it was just us. But then when I was watching him in Epping, I was like, man, I mean, I know he totally got this. Like he's ran pro stock before. This is like way slower, but it's a little scary watching from behind. And like, I don't know, I felt very not having much control over it, but I don't get nervous when he races pro stock for some reason.
I mean, I could chime in there. Being on the outside, I could always say I was more nervous watching, for example, my father when I was crewing on his car and whatnot. I had way more butterflies in my stomach every round versus when I get in the car. It's you really can't explain it. It's a little strange.
And I must say, being there for your victories, especially two at Maple Grove and then your first Taylor at Maple Grove, it's always special seeing you guys come out of the course and seeing you guys all pumped up after a win. Most people that if they've never had the opportunity to be down at the end of the track, once you guys get out of the car after a win, there's nothing to describe it. Taylor, I'm going to go back to you quick. As you know, your hubby played baseball when he was in high school. And I want to know if Vince was on a professional baseball team, what team would he want to be playing for?
Probably the Yankees. He's not much into baseball anymore, but I would say, would it be the Yankees?
Yeah.
The Yankees.
Yeah, I grew up loving baseball and watching the Yankees, believe it or not, with my mother. My mother and my Uncle Joe, they were the inspiration to me playing and watching baseball. My father is strictly a gearhead. He knows nothing about baseball, football, basketball, any kind of sport, actually. My father, he's athletic, but he's not an athlete per se. You know, all he did growing up was, you know, as a little kid, fix lawnmowers and ride dirt bikes and work on cars. And that's all he did and knew. So I grew up, my mom was always like the assistant coach on my baseball team because she liked baseball, and, you know, we'd go to Yankee games and whatnot. But once I was old enough to drive a race car, come senior year of high school, I was on the varsity team, and I told my coach, I was like, listen, I'm going to be missing a couple games this year. I got to go racing. And he couldn't really understand it. And naturally, this was my first year racing pro stock, and I wasn't going to be missing a national event for a baseball game, which we were probably going to lose because my team wasn't very good. But yeah, I lost interest in baseball real quick once I got involved with me driving race cars.
Now, Vince, did you ever get any, since you were so good at baseball and you started racing pro stock your senior year of high school, did you get any offers to go and play in college? Or,
you know, my coach begged me. I couldn't have played at a D1 school. I was not good enough to do that because I did not devote my time to it. I was way too involved with racing. And to be competitive in anything, you need to pretty much give it 100%. And the kids who, you know, go to these D1 schools and whatnot, they're playing every day, 365 days a year. And, you know, I was able to play with them and do well, but you could definitely see the difference between me and the kids who played every year. But my coach, he begged me to go play at a D2 school. But I told him I wasn't interested. I was too devoted in, you know, pro stock at the time.
all right, next question is going to be for Vince. Since we're going to stay on the topic of sports, Vince, if Taylor was not a drag racer and was involved in another professional sport, what professional sport do you think she would be involved in?
Probably a ballerina.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. Basketball. She'd play basketball. She's really good. She's better than me. You know, if we play one-on-one, I could out-muscle her, but when it comes down to shooting, she kicks my butt every time. I don't think I've ever beat her in a game of horse.
I did not know that. I did not know, Taylor, you played basketball.
Yeah, so I played basketball way more into it than like with baseball. I played since third grade. I played AAU. I could have gotten college offers, not D1, but D2, just like Vincent said, because I played for a team that had college scouts at every game. So we had the association of AAU is for people who wanted to go play in college. So I played in that. And I think if I devoted a lot of time. I balanced both. So I played basketball and then we'd go to a race, or I would be on 3 or 4 different teams and I'd play 3 or 4 games a day. And I don't know, looking back, how I even did that. And my mom and dad coached a lot. And if I wasn't a drag racer, I definitely would have pursued basketball in college. I still watch it all the time. He was asking me the other day, I don't understand how involved you are with March Madness, but I love basketball.
All right, next question I'm going to ask you guys is we're going to switch to entertainment instead of
Billy,
racing.
you're breaking up a little bit, buddy.
This is going to be for you, Taylor. Okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's choppy, but we got you now.
All right. Sorry about that, guys, if you guys are listening on the internet or wherever you may be. We're going to switch to entertainment. This is going to be a question for Vince. Say one day when I decide to make a movie about you two, who do you think would Taylor want to play herself in the movie?
Oh, geez. You're asking a guy that is so bad with actors' names and singers' names. Geez. I don't even think she's probably not much of an actor or
No.
singer person either herself. But if I had to guess,
I could pick a family member to play him.
well, no, it's to play you.
No, I know, but
Who would you want to play you
I don't have
as
any-
an actress?
I don't even know any actors.
Yeah.
We're really bad with movies.
How about if we picked a family member? Because I literally I can't name an actor. I'm sorry. I apologize to
Actress.
everybody. Actress. But if it had to be a person, it would obviously be her sister Tori because they're literally twins. I even told her the other day, I saw Tori posted a picture of herself, and I literally took a triple take saying, "Is that Taylor? Is that Taylor with the helmet on?" Their eyes, they're identical, in my opinion.
And Tori's a very good actress. She definitely is I don't know how to say it, the more,
Theatrical.
Dramatic.
yeah, she would definitely be able to play me well, and she missed her calling as an actress.
I mean, since I couldn't answer the question good, do you guys have a suggestion as an actress for Taylor? Because I don't.
Billy, you know who the Winter Soldier is, right? From Marvel
Yes.
Comics.
Yes.
I think Sebastian Stan would be a good Vince Nobile.
That guy could be right. He could be in my kitchen right now. I wouldn't even know who he is.
That makes two of us. I have no idea who he's talking about. Not like a Tom Cruise or a Brad Pitt, right? It's got.
Oh yeah, I know Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
Sebastian, dude.
That's like to the extent of my active knowledge.
I'm trying to think of who would play Taylor. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one.
All right.
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Tom Cruise's ex-wife.
What's that?
Tom Cruise's ex-wife.
That's the tall one.
No, not her. The other one. When
Nicole
he was in that
Kidman?
goofy religious thing there.
Oh, the Penelope or
Katie-
something, right?
Katie, what's her face? I don't know, whatever her last name is.
Yeah, whatever. I'll ask
Katie.
my wife. We'll figure it out. I'll send it to you in a message on Facebook or something.
Perfect.
All right, Taylor, I'm going to go back to you. If you two were, since the Northeast is synonymous with snowstorms, you and Vince are stuck in the house together after a huge blizzard, what movies would you guys be watching on TV?
Well, Vincent would tell you that I can never get through a movie because I either fall asleep or I get bored and start doing activities around the house, like cleaning and stuff. It drives him insane. He says I cannot watch a movie, but we like watching comedies. We're definitely more of a comedy.
Yeah.
And I'll rat him out, but like he likes some of like the little sad stories. Like you could get him to cry in a movie.
I could watch.
Really?
I could watch a good chick flick.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed.
He could cry in a movie at any given moment.
I like all movies.
So if we were to watch the movie Titanic, we would probably get Vincent to cry in that.
I don't know. That one's a little long. I've watched it, but I'll
Yeah, that
stick. Comedies are number one for me.
That was painful. That took way
Yeah.
too
I
long.
mean, I remember as a kid, it was like, what was it?
3 hours and like
No, it was
Almost
3 tapes. Like you bought the
Almost 4
Titanic and it came in a
hours.
case like this.
yeah.
I just got a text message. The actress was Katie Holmes.
Thank you. That's it.
I'm
That's
gonna
the
look
one.
her up while he asks.
And I got to tell you that actually might work.
Yep.
Yeah, she-
Short, long,
Good.
dark hair.
Yeah,
There you go.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
this way.
It's like twins almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see her.
All right, Vince, I'm going to ask you another question. If you were to ask your wife, Taylor, what is her go-to playlist? What would be her go-to playlist?
Oh my God. Her go-to playlist. Well, once again, I'm not good with music, but she listens to a variety of things. There's sometimes she's singing these songs that I've never even heard, which I've heard, but she's like singing the lyrics like different or something. And I'm like, what song is that? And then finally, like I'll hear it on the radio and be like, okay, that's the song she was singing. What was that song? A long time ago, you were singing, I hate your mother, I hate your kids, except your dog or something like that.
ABCDEFU, I think the song is. So I would just start singing it to him in the car and he would get so confused and I'd be like, and your mom and your dad and your sister. And he'd be like, what are you saying? And I'm like, it's a song, I promise.
But she also, like, she'll listen to country.
Yeah. Sad songs. Like
Yeah, she's a mess when it comes to music. She's all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason.
Now, Taylor, if you were to ask Vince what his go-to music would be, what would it be?
anything that plays on his radio station, which is his preset radio station, 102 point something.
No, I listen to oh my God. No, the Sirius XM, and I only get two channels.
It's a set channel, and it's just like either country or like the top hits of today.
Yep,
those are his
correct.
go-to.
See, I have two things: top hits or country.
Yeah, it's country live.
It's
or
number
something.
2 or number 63, I think it is on Sirius. I'm telling you, I'm so bad when it comes to music. I've never been to a concert ever.
Really?
30 years old, no interest in being like this with people bouncing off me, smelling, sweating. Get out of here. Not for me. I'm out.
Right here, I'm right there with you on that one.
And
Never, 53 years old. I've never been to a concert. Have no plans on going to one.
no, I'll probably never go to one. Besides the point, I'm not that interested in music. I listen to it in the car, but it's just a radio channel. I don't have a playlist. I don't have any of that stuff.
All right, Vince, I'm going to ask you another question as well. Since we're on the topic of music, where would you guess Taylor's first concert she attended? Who did she see?
I think I actually know this. I think it was Hannah Montana or something like that.
You got it.
Miley Cyrus.
Yep. Hannah Montana meet Miley Cyrus. It was my first concert. Jackie and my mom sat buying tickets like on their phone, refreshing for like hours. And I think the tickets were like 800 a ticket or something. And I wanted to go so bad.
Wow.
So Jackie ended up buying the ticket and saying, I'm not going, but take your mom and I'll pay for the ticket. And my mom bought the other ticket and we went with Tori and my mom. And I loved Hannah Montana. Good job. That was a good guess.
I did not know that. All right, Taylor, next question is going to be for you. If you two were to go to any concert since Vince has never been to one, if you two were to go to a concert together, who would you two see?
Well, for the atmosphere, I might have to take him to like an oldies band. So like we sit down and like everybody's with their walkers so we don't get like really riled up there. But if it was for a normal concert, a country singer of some sort, I would say to take him to, he would enjoy that. But I'm kind of with him. We're both, a fun fact, we're both clean freaks and we don't like people touching us. So we both wouldn't do well in concerts. I don't really love them either.
If you two ever get the chance, if Shania Twain comes around your area, she's definitely worth seeing. I just saw her last month.
I saw your post on Facebook.
I'm very happy to announce, in case anyone out there doesn't know, yes, I am a big Shania Twain fan, and I'm happy to say I made it through the concert without passing out.
Good job.
Impressive.
Good job, Billy.
All right, Vince, I'm going to go back to you since we're on the topic of entertainment and celebrities. If you were to guess Taylor's celebrity celebrity crush, who would it be?
Hmm.
I know yours.
Better be Vincent Nobile. I'm just saying.
She's never brought one up. I mean, I'd have to ask. She's never brought it up. She's never said anything.
I don't really have one.
Yeah,
Really? Wow. So
But I
Taylor,
don't-
I'm gonna ask.
probably Billy Kay.
Yeah, it is. It's Billy. Secret's out.
All right, another question I'm gonna ask. This is for the both of you. If you two could be on the cover of any magazine, non-racing related, what cover of magazine would you two want to be on?
Forbes. Forbes. I don't know. That's people with a lot of money. Usually are on the cover of Forbes, right?
No Sports Illustrated.
Eh.
I don't know. I was gonna pick the National Dragster, but I can't pick that.
I do have that right? Forbes is,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Forbes.
How to Make $1 Million in Drag Racing Without Really Trying, right?
Yeah.
By Vincent
Start-
Nobile. Would that be
Start
the title of the
Start with a
article?
billion.
Yeah, start with $1 billion, exactly.
I guess Forbes too, because I would like a lot of money and just being able to have millions.
I'm happy already, but having a couple extra bucks probably help a little bit too.
All right, I'm gonna ask you guys the same question, but it's gonna be racing related. If you two could be on any magazine cover, drag racing related, what cover would you guys be on?
You don't count. You've already been on every cover.
Oh, he's asking.
No, I
Oh.
know. Which one would you rather though? You've been on all of them.
I grew up getting the National Dragster as a kid and going through it. You know, that's always been my favorite. So I'd have to pick the National Dragster.
No drag review. Did you ever get drag review when your dad raced IHRA?
I did. But just growing up, I mean, it was always the National Dragster. You know, all my favorite racers were in it, and I'd have to go with that.
I would say that too.
That's one thing that I'd like to work on one day, get my picture on a cover of a magazine. It's gonna happen one day, sooner down the road.
It's going to, Billy. I believe in
You
you.
already have your celebrity status started. It's just a matter of time before it steamrolls into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
All
gonna be
right, I'm gonna
you
go.
and Shania on the cover.
Yes. Yeah.
A
Yes.
National Dragster.
Yes.
Yeah, the National Dragster. There you go.
You guys would probably have to come pick me up after I pass out after that picture being taken. All right, I'm gonna go back to a racing question. This is gonna be for Vince. What do you think would mean more to Taylor? Winning the JAGS All-Stars, the US Nationals, or winning a national championship?
I know what I would rather win, but Taylor would probably rather win the All-Stars over anything. If you had to ask me, I'd rather be a world champion.
No win at Indy.
I'll be honest with you, my whole career, I never made Indy a big deal. Indy is, to me, people may get mad at this, but it's just another race. It doesn't do anything for you if you win it. I mean, yeah, I would have loved to win it, but especially out of those three choices you gave, it's not even comparable. I'd pick a championship over winning Indy 100 out of 100 times.
Wow.
I know you're a double up at Norwalk probably has to be up there along with the Houston win in 2011 as one of your biggest accomplishments in pro stock.
Yeah, I'd have to say they're about the same. You know, winning your first race, the emotion that went over me that day, it was surreal. You know, my father's, done this his whole life. And when I finally got the opportunity to race in a competitive car and win in pro stock, it was surreal. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't understand what it takes to win a race, nonetheless in pro stock. And you know, we won some races, and we weren't always the fastest car, which is what made it, you know, mean a little bit more to me. You know, in the beginning when I was racing, I might have qualified number one time, and we were still, you know, doing real good and competitive. But like you said, that double up, that was just a dream weekend. No, nothing could go wrong. I can say if I could do it over again, that race at Norwalk, it was, I think, over 100 degrees out, and I didn't even want to be there. You walked outside and you were covered in sweat. It was unbearable. And naturally I had to get in the car. What was it? 7 + 4, almost 10 times. I forget how many times it was, because the K&N Challenge was part of qualifying. But anyways, it was more times than a regular national event, and it was brutal. It was just like, do I even want to do that? I wouldn't even be upset if I lost at this point. It was that bad. Not really. It was great, but I think you get the point.
Even though you're still going to be racing in Super Comp, does a day go by that you really don't miss pro stock?
You know, pro stock I love pro stock. There's literally nothing like driving one of those cars. For me, it's the competitiveness, and specifically NHRA pro stock, you have to be perfect, especially if you're not the fastest car. You know, when you're the number 5 qualifier and you're a couple hundredths behind the number 1 guy, in order to win that race, you need to be perfect. You need to shift perfect. You need to leave on time. There's no room for error. You know, unlike some classes when you can make a couple mistakes and still be fast and still win the round. Like I said, if you're not the fastest car, there is zero tolerance for any mistakes. So that I'll miss about it, but that's kind of why I picked Super Comp. It's going to be a challenge for me, and you go up there, no matter who you're up against, could be 000, dead on with a 0, and you could be 001 dead on with a 0, and you're going home. So that's going to be the fun part. The challenge for me is what I'm looking forward to.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Billy.
All right, Taylor, I'm going to ask this question. If you two were to meet each other in the final round, would you two have a staging duel on the starting line?
No.
Staging duel? She's already staged. She's already staged.
I would just.
This is the only person that, like, if she has to, she doesn't have to, but you already know she's staging first, period. Done.
Well, Vincent also takes a really long time, I feel like. So I would just be like, come on, dude, like, let's just get this race over with already. And I'd be sitting in pre-stage waiting for him.
Yeah.
Right. That's one thing I'd like to see before all of us retires. I'd like to see you two race in the final round.
We hope
That'd be cool.
we hope to see it next year, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
And hopefully it happens at Maple Grove.
Maple Grove is a special place. I got my first win there in a national event. Jackie got hers. Vincent's won twice there.
Yep.
Twice
Yep.
there. I have a divisional win there, so we definitely like it there.
All right, Vince, I'm going to ask this question for you since we're on the topic of pro stock. If Taylor were to hop into your pro stock, who do you think she would want to pair up against in any round or at final round? Who do you think would be her favorite opponent to match up against?
Let me think here. She'd probably want to race me, but if that wasn't the case, Fernando Quadra. She'd race Fernando Senior.
Really?
Yeah.
I really like Fernando. He's like such an awesome guy, and he always comes to the track with a smile on his face. And he's been through like some hard times in his life, and you would never know because he's just like so blessed to be out with his family. And I love that he does it with his family. But I would have picked Camry.
I forgot about Cameron. I forgot about Cameron. She's new. I'm out of the loop, guys. I'm retired. I'm like I'm a has-been. I'm thinking of older guys. Come on.
So you like Pete?
I don't know about that, but
He's like me, but with trophies.
You've got 4.
Yeah, there they are back there.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
hiding back
They
behind
got a
him.
lot of dust on them, I'll tell you that.
All right, Taylor, I'm going to ask the next question for you. If Vince could line up against any racer, past or present, who would he want to line up against?
His dad.
yeah, I'd smoke him. He'd admit that though too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna take Vincent for the win there, but I would say his dad would definitely be who he would want to race.
For sure.
Now, would you, Vince, would you want to race your dad in NHRA Pro Stock, or would you want to race him in Mountain Motor?
But you know what? One of my, if I could ever make it happen, one of my dreams would be for him, believe it or not, to win an NHRA race. Just because I know how hard he tried. Unfortunately, he didn't have the money to do it. Because naturally, money goes a long way when it comes to professional racing. Not so much, sportsman racing. But money definitely helps in the professional categories. And he didn't have, that. So he couldn't be as successful as he was in IHRA Pro Stock because he was able to buy the right parts and do all that stuff. But to answer your question, it'd be NHRA Pro Stock, and hopefully it could be in the final round. And I don't know,
You might
as
have
much
to let him
as
win.
much as I say I'd kick his ass, I'd probably ease off the throttle a little bit to let him go by me if he didn't leave before me. Who knows?
All right, since we're still on
Yeah.
the
We all got.
since we're still on the topic of racing, what would you say? So say there's no racing going on and you guys are watching a TV at home. What non-motorsport event on TV do you think you two would be watching
Is it individually or together?
together?
Oh, wait, no, I have the answer to this. So it's not a sport. It's not anything. It's Taylor's new favorite show. I'm drawing a blank of the name of it.
Lone
But
Star Law?
yeah, Lone Star Law. She watches these cops. Do you guys know this show? Yeah, me neither. She watches these cops in, I believe it's New Hampshire
And Texas.
and Texas, and they're
Game wardens.
they're game wardens, and it's literally just it's like surveillance cameras on these cops, and I can't even it's the strangest thing, and she watches it every day.
They filmed that about 2 hours from me. I live in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, I end up watching it too. It's a little addicting,
Thank you.
but
I
she
watched-
willingly watches this.
I got sucked into watching it one time, only because I knew where it was. That's it. I was like, oh, this is cool. All right, what's up? What else is on now?
Yeah, no, you're not allowed to change the channel.
So I wanted to be a cop for a beginning part of my life. I wanted to be a teacher and I wanted to be a cop. And I changed my major twice, from a cop back to a teacher to a cop and then back to a teacher. I really like, he calls me, what do you call me when I'm nosy?
Nancy.
He calls me Nosy Nancy because I like to know what's going on. Like the other day, there was a fire truck behind our house and it was like, what time? Probably 1 o'clock in the morning.
I'll get a call in the middle of the day. Vincent, there was a bunch of cop cars at the gas station. Okay, Taylor, I don't know. And she wants to know why. I don't know.
I want to know.
Hey, Taylor.
Yes.
Aunt Jackie says you're a weirdo.
Yeah. So, well, that's coming from the biggest weirdo on the planet. Have
So
you
is
met
this
my
all-
Aunt Jackie?
Huh?
Have you met my Aunt Jackie? She says I'm weird.
Yeah. I gotta be nice, you know what I mean? You can say it. You're related to her.
So is this like almost like Walker Texas Ranger, this show, or is it a little
No.
bit something different?
It's reality.
Like cops.
It's literally like,
Yeah. It's like cops for game wardens.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's literally like the game warden will be out on their boat and then they'll see someone fishing and then they'll go make sure they don't have any undersized fish. And this is what Taylor watches.
Well, he knows a lot about the show because like that's like one of the lines. So clearly he really watches it when we go to
I
bed.
don't have a choice.
It's like Cops meets Yogi the Bear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the episode that I watched. They were trying to get the two baby bears out of the dumpster.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. I saw that a couple of nights ago. They play them. It's all day long.
Even retired,
I'm-
I don't sit around and watch that. I watch
Oh.
educational TV.
Oh, I'm staring at where she sits all the time.
All right, I'm going to switch the topic.
Uh,
Going to switch the topic a little bit. We're going to do some personal questions for you and Vince. Taylor, I want to know if Vince could participate in the
You broke up there. You
oh,
said
I did, sir.
if Vince would participate in what?
Olympics?
In the Olympics, what sport would you see him participating in?
The one where they shuffle when they push something and the ice goes and they got to shuffle it.
Curling?
Yeah,
Curling?
he'll be very good at that game.
The high jump.
He says the high jump, but I've only seen that jump come out once in my whole life.
So you're sucking me down another rabbit hole. When I first met my wife, I was sitting on the couch and she came home. This is right after we moved in together for the first time. I'm watching curling. No clue what the hell I was watching, why I was watching it, what the rules are, nothing. She comes in, she goes, "What are you watching?" I think it's called curling. Well, what's the point? I don't know. What are the rules? I don't know.
Yeah.
Why are you watching it? I just can't take my eyes off it.
How'd you
All right, but
addicted to it?
I must say, if I was an Olympic athlete, I'd probably pick bowling, but unfortunately, that's not an Olympic sport yet. Maybe one day. All right, Vince, this next question is going to be for you. If you two went to school together and you two were dating in high school, if you got a text message saying that Taylor was in the principal's office, what do you think she would have been sent to the principal's office for?
This is a good one.
Your
Not-
aunt's got to comment on this one.
Not
If you-
shutting up. For sure. So like she just sometimes doesn't know when to shut up. She's a talker. And I could picture her talking, her teacher telling her to stop talking, and then 2 seconds later she's talking again. Yeah. Yep.
It's been a real punishment. I've never been sent to the office for it, but my mom has gotten phone calls home that Taylor interrupts while I'm speaking and that kind of thing. So yes, it's accurate. Good answer.
All right, Taylor, I'm going to ask the same question. If you were to get a text saying that Vincent was in the principal's office, what do you think it would be for?
Someone like touching something on his desk and him like starting just like screaming at them or something. So like not fighting, but like verbally aggression maybe towards like moving something. I don't know. He's not really much of a fighter. What would you say?
I don't know.
Like you would get mad if somebody moved something or touched your stuff or
I got sent to the principal's office one time for something I did not do.
Oh, I
This
want to
is
hear
act-
this.
This is actually a long story. This is actually a story from my father.
Tell the story.
We
Oh.
want to hear this.
Tell the
Vince.
story.
We
That's
want
all
to
I
hear it.
heard.
Well, my father always taught me as a kid, if you didn't do it, don't, don't own up to it if you didn't do it. But if you did it, own up to it. And what happened was some kid threw these coins, like quarters and nickels, whatever he had in his pockets. He was throwing them at other kids in the cafeteria. And one of the lunch aides said it was me. And it was not me. And I would not, the guy wanted me to go to lunch detention and I would not go. This is middle school. I think it was 7th grade. So 2nd year in middle school. And I would not go. And then he said, all right, I'm going to get the vice principal. I said, okay. So he gets the vice principal and he's telling me to go to lunch detention. And I told him I'm not going to lunch detention. I didn't do it. And then he says he's going to get the principal. Okay, get the principal. Well, long story short, I didn't go. They had to call my father. My father, so backstory, owns trucks and trailers, sand trucks, and he's at the yard working on trucks full of grease, has to come to the school. And anyways, long story short, my father said to the guy, listen, if my son said he didn't do it, he didn't do it. And that was pretty much it. But he could tell you the more detailed story. It gets a little more fun than that, but that's another day.
Vincent, is Nicole your sister?
Yes.
Okay, so she commented, talking back to an asshole teacher.
Yeah,
you.
pretty much. I don't have
Yeah.
patience. I don't have patience for she's got that nailed to the T. For sure.
Nothing
All
wrong
right,
with that.
All right, Taylor, I'm going to go back to you. Since we're on the subject of school, what would you say Vince's favorite subject was in school?
So Vincent and I both did not like school. We always wanted to be at the racetrack, but I would say gym.
I mean, I think that's a lot of people's favorite.
Well, that was my favorite. So I was just
I
gonna
think
say
he was more so asking
Okay,
what your
math?
strong point is.
math.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty good at math. Taylor is the opposite of that. She needs a
Me
calculator
too. Me too.
for simple arithmetic. And her uncle Sean could vouch for that. I think me and him both get a little frustrated when it comes down to working with the time slips and whatnot. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, I'm not good at math.
Uh,
So a funny side story, because I think she's watching. Vincent's mom and I play Yahtzee a lot. And we'll be like, finish the game and I'll start like stress adding on my calculator, like really fast. So she doesn't see that I'm adding on my calculator. And she'll just be like, all right, 345. And I'm like, but how did you do that? Like, there's so many numbers and I can't even add like 5 + 5 sometimes without a calculator. Like, how did you just get that? I think he gets that from his mom.
yeah.
All right. This is going to be a question for the both of you. If you two are sitting together in a school assembly and the person presenting the assembly is just talking and talking, which one do you think would be the first to fall asleep?
I'd say Taylor, she can't even watch a movie like we were saying earlier, but I'd be the first one to leave.
I was gonna say leave.
I would just leave. And I'd probably just leave her sleeping because she'd be drooling there. I'd be like, let's go.
All right, I'm going to ask another series of questions. This time I want to know, Vince, if Taylor and you could go to any place in the world, what place would you guys go to?
So there's two things that Taylor she loves Disney. She'd pick Disney in Florida or Aruba.
Ooh,
And I'm fine with either. More so Aruba.
all right, Taylor, the next question is going to be for you. If Vince could be, since we're going to stay on the topic of Disney, if Vince could be any Disney character for a day, what character would he be?
Goofy. because he's a little goofy sometimes. And he likes to make people laugh. And he like, I don't want to admit it because like his head might explode after this, but like he's kind of funny. So goofy.
And she's
Right.
sleepy. from Seven Dwarfs.
Especially
All right. Next question I'm going to ask is about food. So it's date night. Would you guys go to either a sit down restaurant or get takeout?
If it was up to me, we'd cook a nice meal at home. But for Taylor, it's gonna be, here's the three things: a cheeseburger. It's cheeseburger. Let me think. Cheeseburger.
steak,
Yeah.
Alaskan king
Yeah,
crab.
yeah. She's got a very, very, very strict palate when it comes to going to eat. It's fast food, cheeseburger. It's this. It's literally fast food or Alaskan king crab and filet mignon. That's it.
Ooh. All right, Taylor, the next question is going to be for you. Between you and Vince, who is the most pickiest eater?
Me.
That's an easy
Vincent
one,
eats
yeah.
everything. I don't.
I'm a foodie. I love food. I like to try things. She does not.
All right, I'm going to stick to Taylor for this one. It's 1 o'clock in the morning and Vince is down in the kitchen getting something out of the refrigerator. What do you think he'd be getting out of the refrigerator?
Out of the refrigerator, we don't have much options in our refrigerator. So a cheese stick, but I do have a go-to snack that he would get. He would definitely get, we have these little Pop-Tart bars. They're like, I don't know, they're like this big, this way. They're like this big. And he was addicted to them. He hasn't had many like 1 a.m. snacks, but I would say that would be a snack and a cheese
Oh.
stick, right?
It would probably be sweet tea out of the fridge.
Okay, sweet tea out of the fridge. I just bought him half sweet, half unsweet tea from Chick-fil-A. So that's his new thing.
I drink a lot of calories. I
right,
probably-
Vince.
That's Pete's problem too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I drink non-alcoholic calories.
by drink, you mean eat? Yeah, that's me.
I'm eating and drinking a lot of calories lately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you have an
You have a
experience.
reason. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I look pregnant, but I'm not.
I don't know. I never thought, like, people always say you eat for two. And I was like, yeah, that's like a lie. Like, you could just eat. It's fine. Eat your normal thing. But he can attest to this. Ever since I got pregnant, it's like 24/7. I'm starving. And I was not like that. I ate 2 meals a day and like regimented meals. And now it's like whatever I see in my
Has your taste or desire for different things changed? Or it's
No,
still the same
so
food?
it's very weird. I don't have like any cravings and my food choices have stayed the same. The only thing,
Yeah, we haven't veered far away from
Yeah.
from the cheeseburger.
yeah,
The limited palate is still in effect.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it stayed the same.
All right, Taylor, this next question is going to be for you. What would you say is on top of Vince's bucket list?
I would say to win a championship, right?
Yeah, I've never won a championship. I guess,
Racing related would be that.
yeah, racing related.
And I mean, I know his other bucket list, which we're checking off, is he wanted to start a family. So that was both of our top next life goal, I guess you could say. So we're in the process of checking that off.
That's right.
Still got a couple months to go.
All right, Vince, I'm going to go back to you. If you were to guess what Taylor would do first, what would she do? Go skydiving or go ziplining?
Probably zip lining before skydiving. I don't know if she'll go skydiving
No, I want to go skydiving.
until you got up there.
Yeah, but you just have to push
Yeah.
me out.
Yeah. Listen, we're not all as tough as Amy.
Yeah. My mom's been skydiving and she's like most
I still don't believe it.
nervous person in the world. And Vincent does not believe that she ever went, but she did.
I need video proof of this.
It was like 19, like
Yeah, they had the
70.
backpack recorders back then.
All right, Taylor, I'm gonna go back to you. So you and Vince are on a date to an amusement park. Which ride do you think would be the first ride that Vince would go to?
A roller coaster of some sort, I would think. You're not much of a ride person either.
Yeah, I mean.
But a roller coaster,
We just
right?
haven't been to one.
A roller coaster?
Yeah.
Roller coaster.
Is there any particular coasters you like, Vince?
It's been so long since I've been to an amusement park. But I do long time ago. I can't remember where we were. I was racing.
Cedar Point.
No, we were out west somewhere with my father and our one other crew guy, Kenny. And
The top of the skyscraper.
we no,
You did
no,
that?
this is
That
a
was cool.
long time ago when I was a
Okay,
kid.
I'm done guessing for him.
It had rained. It had rained, so we weren't racing, and the amusement park around the corner from the track was actually open, and it was vacant. No one was there. It was a handful of people, and I went on this one roller coaster probably 10 times in a row. It just on repeat, and at one point, my father and Kenny had to get off because they couldn't do it anymore.
All right, since the tour was just out at Vegas, I'm going to ask a Vegas question. So you two are at the casino playing either poker or blackjack. Which one do you think would come out ahead, Taylor or Vince?
For poker, it would probably be me because he doesn't like that game. He checks out very quick into it. But blackjack, I have no idea how to play, and he's really good at blackjack. So
Taylor's gonna come out ahead because she knows when to stop, and when she's up like $3.50, she puts it in her pocket and walks away. Where
Absolutely me.
I won't do that. I'll be up and then I'll try and hit big and lose it all. So I'm a go big or go home kind of guy.
Well, I was gonna say, judging by the comment that she made a couple minutes ago where it says, "I always win,"
Yeah.
right, Taylor?
what? When was this?
On
Oh,
the
yes.
"I always win," she says.
Well, in
Who said that?
Jackie, you're talking about Jackie, right?
You didn't you say, it says, you said, "I always win."
Oh, so that's his mother on my Facebook because she
I was
doesn't
gonna
have
say,
one.
it's gotta be someone with your login.
Okay.
And she's commenting, but so that's his mom. His mom always wins, and she's saying
Oh,
Yahtzee.
always wins Yahtzee.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
I
All
can
right.
say my mother is the best at Yahtzee.
But when it comes to like, we were in Puerto Rico for our wedding, and they had a casino, and we would go in partners on roulette, and I would be the player, and we would get up like $100, and I'd be like, "Let's go," and he's like, "But we just sat down," and I'm like, "But we have $100 in front of us that wasn't ours to start," and he's like, "Keep playing," and then we get down to zero.
And with the last time I was in Vegas, I was in the airport and I put $20 in a slot machine and I hit $60. You would think I just hit the friggin' Powerball. If I could have done a cartwheel, I would have. I
Oh,
took my money and ran. I was out of there.
that's fun.
All right, Taylor, this next question is going to be for you. You and Vince are driving together. Who is the calmest driver and who has road rage?
I
This
would,
is your question.
I would say I don't know, he can get really mad at people sometimes, but I would say he's a calmer driver, I guess.
I'm actually, believe it or not, I drive slow.
Yeah, very slow.
I've, to be continued, I've never gotten a ticket, but I have gotten pulled over because of this one, because she couldn't figure out how to light the stove. So she FaceTimed me, and stupid me answered the phone, and I got pulled over. I've yet to get the actual ticket, But
Well, what about I have a funny story for you. So Vincent and I were on like probably our third ever date, and we were in Epping, and we were going to get ice cream, and we were meeting his parents there to get it. So we were driving together, and all of a sudden we're getting pulled over on our way to get ice cream, and we're in the middle of the town, and this cop pulls him over, and he's like, "Sir, have you been drinking?" And he's like, "What? No, I haven't been drinking." But he was going so slow and so like over the road, because we were following navigation to find this like little tiny ice cream shop in the middle of like,
Epping or
Well,
whatever.
yeah,
Beach Plum.
no, it wasn't Beach Plum. It was like
was
this,
it?
it was this little like
It was
area.
like, yeah, it was like a little town.
And
It-
then the next day we went to the track, and the cop was there, and he was like, "Oh, hey guys." And because we told him we were from the race and not from around here. And then he was the same guy, like blocking the gate to get people in. And we saw him, and we were like, "Hey."
You should have handed him a beer.
yeah.
All right, Vince, I'm going to ask you this question. What modern day device can Taylor not live without?
Her phone. She's addicted to her phone. She's charging her phone midday sometimes.
No,
Yeah.
All right,
no
all right, Taylor, I'm going to ask you this question since we're still on that topic. If you got a phone call from Vince saying that he was in jail, what would you think that he got arrested for and put in jail for?
trying to bail his father out of jail,
Yeah, that's probably most likely.
and then being put in jail for trying to bail him out of jail.
Yep. My father, he's a handful. That's my full-time job. And then I got a lot of other jobs underneath that, but babysitting my father for sure. Keeping him out of
Keeping him in
trouble.
line.
Just keeping him out of trouble. We're a great team though. Me and him, we could conquer the world together, me and him. It's we really need a reality show though, for sure. It's something you just gotta experience.
The first time like was hanging around them, they started like yelling at each other, and I was like, "Geez, are they like okay?" And then I got to know that that's just like that's their way of communicating, is just like yelling, and they're not even yelling in like an aggressive way. It's just like they're yelling at each other, and that's their like love language, I guess you could call it. So I've learned that like yelling is a good thing. If they're not yelling, then maybe be a little scared.
Yeah,
They're
it's
a
just
great
something
team.
you gotta experience to understand. And if you don't know us, it's like, oh my God, do these people, like, what's wrong with them?
They're,
But
they're
yeah,
gonna kill each other.
They're the best of friends, and
Yep, for
Sounds a
sure.
lot like the JA
Yeah.
crew.
Yeah, but I know the JA crew, but we don't actually fight. We argue on a hourly basis, but it's all never means anything. You know, it's nothing, never anything serious, but it don't matter what it is. We're usually arguing about it, and we always come to a conclusion. And 9 out of the 10 times,
It is Vincent.
I'm usually right. I hate to say it because I don't want to sound cocky, but my father will even tell you. He'll probably argue a little bit. He won't say 9 out of 10, but I'm gonna go 9 out of 10. But it's fun. We have a lot of fun.
All right, I have 2 questions I want to throw at you guys. I'll start with you, Vince.
So,
First question. My most embarrassing moment is
go like do that one now.
yeah, well, you
Yeah.
gotta answer it, dude.
All right. My most embarrassing moment. I can honestly say I really don't get embarrassed that easily. So I'm gonna have to think about this one.
All right, we'll pass it over to your wife. Taylor, your most embarrassing moment.
oh, geez.
Does it
You
involve an
answered
electric scooter by any
Yeah,
chance?
you answered this before
I answered it?
on their show.
What did I
thought.
say?
Something about the scooter
I did.
dying and pushing.
Or you almost hit his car or something?
Oh yeah, my mini bike. Yeah, when we like were not dating yet, and I was trying to like impress him, but instead I almost wrecked his car.
All
Yeah,
right,
that one.
since I forgot that I already asked you that
I
question,
forgot
let's
that.
go with, we'll get
Okay.
a do-over on that one. I lack the ability to
I like the ability,
Lack.
I lack
Yeah.
lack
the
you lack the
ability,
ability to do what?
cook, and I blame that on my mom because she raised me to not cook, and now I'm in a family that like cooks all the time and I struggle. So I'll blame my mom's watching for sure. So thanks, Amy. That's the only bad quality you passed on to me in my life.
All
Well,
right.
from her.
Next one for you, Taylor, then we'll go to Vincent. Somebody wrote a book about you. What would the title be?
Hmm. I don't know. I hope it's something good because I try to be like a good ambassador for the sport and for my life. I really love kids. I don't know. It's something about hopefully it being a good person. I don't know.
How about you, Vince? Somebody writes a book about you. The title of your book is what?
The title of my book, I would hope to be, so I tried it, like, just because of being around my father a lot, I'm telling you, there's nothing my father can't do. Whether it's being great at it or not, he could do it. I don't care what it is. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or not, but not necessarily. He's not scared. You know, nothing scares him. And just growing up with him and being with him every day, I've learned a lot. And I wouldn't necessarily call myself an ace of all trades, but I'm certainly a jack of all trades. I'm really good at a lot of things. So maybe jack of all trades would be my title of my book. I don't know, right?
Yeah, I definitely married a handyman. Like we were talking about the nursery and we were thinking of ideas and I said, oh, like I need to go buy bookshelves. Like I need to know the measurement for this one wall. And he was like, well, I'm going to build those. You don't need to buy them. And I was like, oh, okay, I forgot. Like you kind of got this. You could do this.
All right, Pete. Somebody writes a book about you.
Oh, God.
Somebody writes a book about
I
you.
am cracking up reading the comments. Have you seen what Sean's been writing?
No,
No, not yet.
I can't
could just-
see any of the comments.
I think when it was, what's the title for the book? Sean wrote, "What time's dinner?"
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, for
that's a good
sure.
one. I am on a very
Mine needs now
Yeah.
since Sean's listening in, I need the title of my book to be anything but Mama Luke. Not a Mama Luke. That would be a good one.
There you go.
between Sean, my dad, and Vincent. They have more nicknames for each other. If you just like listen for 10 seconds, you'll hear like 50 names between the three of them.
All right, Pete. Somebody writes a book about you. What's the title of it?
Oh, God.
I know what I would call it. I know what
a lot of people would call it, but I wouldn't want to admit to it.
Why is the mechanic's RV on the tow truck?
No. That's the old RV. We don't deal with that anymore. Honestly, I mean, I haven't done a ton of stuff in my life, but I would say beyond a shadow of a doubt, the thing I'm most proud of would be being a father to 5 awesome kids. So anything that would involve that in the title, that and running up to Taylor all the time would probably be, something along those lines.
Pete, also, I feel like even Sean and I were talking about this before when we started coming on when I started coming on the shows. Like Pete is just a great guy, and I never really got to know him like as much until like we started doing these shows. We started talking in the pits and stuff, but he's also a great ambassador for the sport. He does great interviews. This should be like your second like hobby. I feel like you're missing your calling and like interviewing, but you're a great ambassador for the sport too.
Thank you. I got to tell you, coming from you and anybody in your crew, I really appreciate that because I've always been like big on family. Ever since, the last 3 years that I've gotten into teaching, and watching my kids grow and everything, it's like, it's whenever I see a family doing their thing, it impresses the hell out of me. And then to see a family doing their thing in a sport that I love so much, it's just like, it's what it's all about, in my opinion. I don't care if you win, you runner up, you stage the car, you don't make a pass, doesn't even matter. It's family being tight at this sport and everyone getting along. It's, in my opinion, it just doesn't get any better than that.
We were talking about that with our future daughter. We were saying like how we can't imagine our life without racing. Like I say it all the time and I sound like a broken record, but like junior racing, he didn't have as much of a junior racing experience as I did, but like junior dragsters shaped me into the person I am today. And I like wholeheartedly believe that without my parents getting me involved, like maybe just being involved in the sport, like if my dad just raced and we went, I think I would still like it. But the fact that like my parents sacrificed a lot of things for my sister and I, and my dad ended up stopping racing for 10 years to let Tori and I race, that's something like we talk about all the time. Now, like, I know I don't have our daughter yet, but I already say like, I would give up any racing, and I love racing more than anybody I know, to see our daughter race and to get these same experiences that I had growing up, because I don't know, I there's just nothing to compare to. Soccer and baseball and basketball, you don't get that experience, that life experience as you do at the racetrack.
It's bizarre that I even got into racing because my father never raced. No one in my family ever raced. I have a cousin that was a weekly racer up at Lebanon Valley, and me and my dad would go watch him. But I wound up working for a guy that drag raced back in the day. He raced super stock, and I had my Vega, and we put a bigger motor in it. We went to the track, and we started in the trophy class, and it's bizarre how I wound up loving this sport this much without having like a family background. But I guess it's got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, you got to be the start of the family.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, you guys are, like I said, I admire from afar, but it's just so impressive. And then you marry into another family that's all about racing. It's like, it's about as cool as it gets from the outside looking in. I'll tell you that.
It's pretty cool from the inside, and I'm blessed to be in this part and have this and continue to grow this in our next generation. I can't even believe like I'm a third generation driver, and now thinking about like the fourth generation that we're gonna have. Like it's just crazy to think about, like, and who knows after that what'll happen. But
now, Vincent, will your father be coming to any of the races that you're competing at?
We're joined at the hip.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, the next race I'm at that you're there, I'm going to butt myself in to shake the guy's hand, because
Oh, of course.
I've seen him on TV a bunch of times supporting you. Again, the whole family thing. I could see where you get your vertical leap from, because I've seen him jump a couple of times watching him on TV. Very cool. I'll definitely look forward to shaking his hand.
Definitely come by. Yeah, I'm nothing without my father. Like I said, I've learned everything from him. I still have a lot to learn from him. Like I said, we're a team when it comes to doing things, more so for me than it is for him. He could do anything alone, but when we're together, there's absolutely nothing we can't do. But like I said, we're joined at the hip. We do everything together.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Cool. Billy, I'm going to change the question, then it go back to you. We'll start wrapping up. Your most embarrassing moment.
Oh man,
while you're thinking, I'll go. Billy, go ahead. Your most embarrassing moment.
Let me think.
Most embarrassing moment. That's a good one. Probably my most embarrassing moment is when the one time I tripped coming out of the time slip booth at Maple Grove. Yeah, it was one of the first days I worked, and I wasn't paying attention and I forgot that the step was there and I almost went face first on the ground.
Glad he didn't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really can't think of anything other than my first year racing pro stock. I was trying so hard not to make a mistake. And a lot of times when you do that, you make the mistake you're trying not to make. And I remember, I forget if Gainesville at the time was the second race or third race. But we got to Gainesville and I could not do a burnout. I could say the burnout in a pro stock car is probably one of the hardest things to do if you don't use a burnout chip and all that other stuff. And it's one of the most fun things to do in the pro stock car. But I was having such a hard time, and it's one of the most important things to do in pro stock, because if you mess it up, basically your whole run's toast. You know, we've got a little 6-inch clutch and you put a little bit too much heat in it. You know, we're tuning the thing down to a gram, one gram. So now that's thrown out the window. So I think I wrecked 2 clutches that weekend in the burnout. But fortunately we had some spares. But if I had to pick, I guess that would be it. I was embarrassed for my team.
So Vincent's dad does not have, I don't know if he's not on the Facebook. He might be on mine, but he wrote.
His mom said that he's watching
He's watching.
on yours. Yeah.
So he texted me, and a side note to John, John's like, I call him my number 3. I couldn't have a better father-in-law. He's like the toughest guy on the outside, but he's got a heart of gold on the inside. And so he texts. I'm going to tell them what he said.
Can I tell the story?
No, I wasn't going to tell the story.
Oh,
I was going to say it.
no, but there's a story behind that.
Yeah, but I was talking about your dad for a minute. Like, he's on watching. I wanted to tell him how much I love him.
She's trying to have a moment with the father.
Right.
We don't
Here's
need
his-
this. Nobody cares about this lovey-dovey.
Here's his
I saw it
moment.
already. No one cares about this lovey-dovey stuff. So here's not my most embarrassing moment. Probably
He said
one.
it's yours.
No, I wasn't embarrassed. But this goes back to, remember I said 9 out of 10 times I'm usually right with him. Okay. Well, here's one example of where I was right. So I believe this is like 2010. So that's what, 12 years ago now. I'm 30. So I'm 18. I'm 18, right? Yeah.
You're asking me.
Yeah, I'm
not
asking
good
you.
at that.
Anyway,
You already said she can't add her
yeah, I don't know why
I didn't
I'm
get my
asking her.
calculator out yet.
She's got, hold on.
Myself a kid.
I
at the
can answer
time.
that.
I consider myself a kid at the time, and I shouldn't know anything. And one, I don't know anything about what I'm about to tell you. We get a boat, and it's on a trailer. It's like a 24-foot center console boat. It was brand new. We wanted a fishing boat. We wanted to go fishing. Meanwhile, we're full-time pro stock racing. And what do you do during the summer? You go racing. We don't have time to fish. Well, anyways, he buys this boat. We go out for our maiden voyage, and we back it down the slip. And I've never done this in my life. I've never put a boat in the water ever. Meanwhile, I assume my father's done this 100 times, which he said he has. So I don't know if you guys have boats or have ever put a boat in the water. Anyways, our trailer had nylon rollers, which held the boat, which makes it come off. So the boat ramp's obviously a ramp. It's going downhill, and common sense tells you when you unstrap it and you take the hook off the boat wants to roll off, right? Common sense. Okay, so we're not backed into the water yet. And my father says, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to unhook this, and we're going to unhook this thing. I say to him, Dad, when you unhook that, the boat's going to come off the trailer. And he's yelling at me, no, it's not. I've done this 100 times. What are you talking about? And this is one of those things where you would have to just understand our relationship. We're screaming and cursing at each other, but that's normal. So, all right, Dad, you know better. What's he do? He unhooks the thing, and there goes the boat. Swing, boom. And now the boat's on the pavement in front of, probably, no exaggeration, 15 strangers watching this. And there's my Uncle Joe in the background screaming, maiden voyage! So I look at my dad and I'm like, all right, I told you it was gonna fall off. And all he had to do was shake his head. And the best part was he just gets in the truck, he backs into the boat, pushes it into the water, and there we went. We went on our way. So I'd have to say that's his most embarrassing moment.
I would have
You've got-
paid.
Maiden voyage of the SS Holy
Oh,
Shit.
my
Yeah,
God.
that's
That
holy
is hysterical.
You know. So
Oh,
yeah,
that was great.
that's one of many countless stories for me and my father.
That is hysterical.
Oh, my word.
Oh my God.
All right, so let's get to a little racing in 2022. What is your schedule looking like for this year? Taylor, we obviously know what your schedule's not looking like. Your sister's stepping up and taking over and gonna give Pete fits, which is good because that's always fun to watch. Vince, what's on your schedule for this year with your new toy?
I have very high hopes of doing a lot of racing. I started this Dragster Super Comp dream of mine saying, oh, this is going to be great. It's going to be lax. It's going to be calm. There's not going to be a whole lot of racing. Because I was used to racing 24 races a year with Pro Stock. But at the time, I was in school. Then I had, our businesses to worry about. But I flew in. Every Thursday night. And then I flew home Sunday night. So I was gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I was home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and most of Thursday. Now I get this schedule and I'm saying to myself, I'm going to be gone just as much as I was Pro Stock racing. What is this? You go to 2 divisionals and now there's a national the very next weekend. Now I'm away 3 weekends in a row, maybe have a weekend off. Now there's an open here, another race over there. And I'm like, pulling my hair out, not knowing how I'm going to do this. But to answer your question, I intend on racing all the divisionals at least. And I am entered for Charlotte, Virginia, and Epping National. Bearing I have no complications and everything goes well with work and I could get away from home, being that, I have to drive the rig there. And obviously it takes a day in advance to get there a lot of times.
Right.
What's that?
We're stopping.
Yeah, and then towards the end of the year, obviously, we're going to be having our baby, and that's going to be putting a screeching halt to the racing season. So, but that's down in September. But up until then, bearing everything goes well with my car, and I'm doing well, and work's good, and I could get away, I'm going to try and hit as many as the races as I can. For sure, most of the D1 divisionals and the closer nationals.
Billy, not to break your heart, but my due date, if it happens, is Maple Grove Nationals. So pending that, everybody's on their feet about what our home racetrack is going to be like. But
Yeah, may or may not be attending that due to
yeah,
our little girl.
I
on
would
the way.
I would like hope to not have a baby like at the racetrack, even though that would be a pretty cool story. So we're gonna play it safe and stay around here during that couple of weeks of a time frame.
For sure.
We'll get you on Sunoco Vision in labor.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, and we'll have Steve Rhodes can do the delivery.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. That's
Yes.
right.
I don't think I want anyone I know delivering my child in that room.
Uh,
We'll hear words from her mouth that we've never heard before.
yeah.
And Amy, my mother, and Vincent are gonna get to hear all of them. So
Now, Vincent, as a parent myself, just be prepared that you will come out beaten, battered, and bruised. Just giving you a heads up.
I'm gonna try and prepare myself.
Do a little weightlifting, do some boxing just so you can deflect the hands so
I've
trying
got
to
a-
grab you. And
I've got a little niece now, Sophia, which
and
has-
Ella. Let's
Well,
not
Ella-
forget.
Ella's not quite big enough yet to give me any bruises. She's still just not even a month old. But our Sophia, she's given me some practice for sure.
Very cool. Billy, so you
Very
guys
cool.
kick off next weekend, is that right?
Yep, that is correct. We kick off for our 60th anniversary of racing at Maple Grove this coming Saturday with a test and tune from 10 till 3.
Very cool. And Pete, when are you getting rolling? Are you starting at Lebanon Valley?
My motor is in the back of my truck as we speak. Going up to school tomorrow to give the car a heartbeat, and we'll see. The game plan would be ACO Divisional, or Lebanon Valley Open the week after. So
Cool.
Cool.
we'll see.
Well, Vince, like I said, we tried to make it as fun as possible. Hopefully you had a good time.
It was a good time. I appreciate you guys thinking of me.
Very welcome. Taylor, as always, thank you so much.
Yep.
Billy, my friend, thank you, buddy.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having us on.
Very welcome. Pete, I know it's almost bedtime for you, so
It's my bedtime too.
Good Lord. You guys, I'm gonna have circles under my eyes tomorrow morning. This is crazy. And I'm missing my soap opera.
and
Taylor-
that's right,
I'm
it's so
missing Lone
fucking
Star
late.
Law for this.
Taylor's missing Lone Star. She's about ready to book it upstairs and turn that on. She wants to
All
know
right,
if there are
guys.
any undersized crabs in the boat.
Guys, thank you for coming on. As always, it's
Thank
been a
you.
great time.
Bye, guys. Bye,
Thanks,
Taylor. Bye,
Billy.
Vince.
Bye.
Best of luck to
See you
you guys
guys.
and your future family, and we'll
See
see
you
you next
guys.
week.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
we'll see you all at the racetrack.
guys.
Have a good night, everybody. We are
Yep.
out of here.
See you guys.
Be back next Monday night with Denny Parrison from the Race for Ronald's House charity event that's also happening at Maple Grove. So I'll be talking to him. Interviewed Denny in the past. Always, he's got the voice, man. He's got that voice. And Race for Ronald's House, the Ronald McDonald House in Philadelphia. He does a great job with it, and looking forward to talking to him.
Excellent. Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
All right, my man. Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome, Pete.
We
Again, I
will,
want to say,
we'll see you when we see you.
all right, sounds like a plan. Like I
Take
said,
care,
be
bud.
back next Monday night, 7:00. I want to thank Taylor. I want to thank Vincent and Billy and Pete and everybody who tuned in, checked us out live. Hope you had a great time. We'll talk to you all soon.